Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. It's been a whirlwind of a week as we got together last weekend. I was talking about getting our remodel project at 5001 South Sweetbriar on the market. We did. We promoted the heck out of it, had a lot of fun, interaction and comments on social media, and put it on multiple listing on Monday. Had our offer on Tuesday. Well, we actually had the offer before that. It took a little bit of time to put it together, but we got it put together on Tuesday, so the house was sold, which is awesome. And we're going through the process. I mean, sold doesn't necessarily mean that it's all done and the people are moving in. We got the contract in place on Tuesday. Then we had a huge event with realtors in the community on Wednesday, just to make sure that we were still able to show off the handiwork of the experienced builders, first and foremost, but followed closely by the experienced furniture because the staging crew crushed it. Oh my goodness, that place looks amazing. And then the experienced movers, obviously, if they don't get the furniture in, it doesn't all come together. So, and then followed a little bit by the experienced insurance, because we got to make sure that we've got everything protected until we get to closing. So there's my shameless plug for several of our companies. I guess the last one would probably be the experienced real estate, because we did have a for sale sign in the yard too. So I was thankful we didn't have to get the experienced rentals in the loop on this one. That could have turned out badly for all of us. But anyway, it was a great project, a super fun week centered around that home, and got to have some great conversations with a lot of my fellow real estate agents in the community. So we were over the top excited. That's the work item today. I've also got to touch on a little bit of sadness on a low level, but my Steelers got trounced this week, or last Monday night, and exited the playoffs again. I think that's the 6th or 7th playoff loss in a row. It's unbelievable. In fact, the last playoff win, I believe it was 9 or 10 years ago, but we were there. The Davis family was in Kansas City the last time the Steelers won a playoff game. I'll share a few pictures of that one with you. Probably my favorite memory of that game was before the game started, when we were at the tailgates, and there were a bunch of rowdy Chiefs fans there. They were burning terrible towels, and Pierce had a bottle of water. And of course, then he was little Pierce at that point in time, but I mentioned to him it might be a good idea to put out the fire. So he went over and poured a bottle of water on one of the burning terrible towels. That got a rise out of the group there. And it was all in good fun, but lasting memory from the Steelers' last playoff win. But anyway, when they got bounced this week, I think it was the next day, Mike Tomlin, their coach of 19 years, put in his resignation. And in that industry of NFL football, coaches don't last 19 years. That is pretty unheard of. And in fact, as a lifelong Steelers fan, I mean, some of my longest running memories were watching the Steelers as a little kid. They've had 3 coaches in 50 plus years. It's absolutely amazing. And the type of longevity that organization has been able to string together, one of the many reasons that I follow the team and that I really enjoy that organization. It's really pretty cool. But so I've had a lot of buddies asking me about my thoughts on Tomlin leaving, and was it time? Because there was a lot of talk in the football world about maybe they need a new voice, maybe they need a new leader, maybe they need fresh ideas. And possibly all of that is true. The best thing that I saw written about Tomlin this week was I have no idea who wrote it, because there's a lot of it on the internet this week, but they made the comment, they went into a long diatribe about how great his leadership was, talked about the different quarterbacks that had led their team to the playoffs, quarterbacks that had led the Steelers to the playoffs, and then you've never heard of them again. Kenny Pickett being one of them, probably one of the most recent ones. But nonetheless, talked about his great leadership, and then also talked about the fact that He's at this point in his career. They've lost a lot of playoff games in a row. One of Mike Tomlin's most famous quotes is, "The standard is the standard," meaning that we don't accept anything else around here except winning. And although they've won in pretty good moderation, they haven't won the big one in a long time. And like I said, even a playoff game. And so this columnist went on to say that the stepping away, the passing the torch, giving someone else the opportunity to lead the organization forward, bring in fresh ideas, and be a leader of men, doing that's leadership too. And it really kind of made me step back a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That is leadership. Knowing when the ideas and everything that you've put in place, knowing that you've probably carried that as far as you possibly can, but then still having deep care and love for everybody in your organization and wanting them to be able to succeed even more. There's a time when it's probably better to stop pushing forward from your own aspect and look at the collective and say, I want what's best for them. And I think it's time to give someone else an opportunity to lead and bring in different ideas. I really thought that was a great comment on leadership, and one that will stick with me. Now, don't be getting any ideas. God willing, I'll be leading the experience for many more years to come. But it did put that thought in the back of my mind that, a few decades down the road or whenever that may be, there's going to come a time when someone else is going to be leading our organization, and I want to be able to put them in the best possible position to be able to do that and then embrace it rather than struggle with that. So classy move by Mike Tomlin. I thought that was, hopefully for my Steelers, it all turns out for the best. So I guess we'll see next year. So that's all I got for you this week, guys. I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope to see you again next week at Coffee with Kory.